side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey guys, my name is Red Rubber Duckwind, and welcome to day 4 of the 2023 NCAA March Madness Charity Drive. All the proceeds are going to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The link to the fundraiser is in the description below. And today we're going to be looking at one new tournament bracket. This one is the Big Sky tournament, but first we finally got our first conference tournament games out of the way. That's right, the Atlantic Sun held their first round games last night, and it took place in the top 2 seeds' house, and that's Kennesaw State and Liberty. Whoever won those games will have to play the top 2 seeds here tonight at the time of this recording. And yeah, it's going to be some very, very chaotic games, and we had 2 bits of chaos tonight. So let's start off with the first game, and that was the Bellarmine Knights going up against the North Florida Ospreys, and the Knights ended up winning 76-74. And this was a close game throughout, and the North Florida Ospreys led at halftime with a 1-point lead, and the largest lead was 7. That's how close it was, and that league belonging to the Knights. The top scorers from each side were Ben Johnson off the Bellarmine bench with 26 and Jarius Hicklin with 25 for North Florida. And it was a really chaotic finish, which is what you would expect, but not on the first day of conference tournaments. So with the game tied at 74, Justin Betts had the ball in his hand, and he made the game-winning jumper. The ball went in with 0.4 seconds left, and that set up a date with the Liberty Flames here tonight. The next game was the Queens Royals in their first taste of postseason basketball in Division I, going up against a familiar name in the Atlantic Sun, the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles. And this was another close game throughout. Queens led by 2 at the half, and the largest lead for the Royals was 7. The largest lead for either team. And the top scorers, well, there was actually several for the Queens Royals, but it was a tie between BJ McLaurin and Kenny Dye with 12 points each, and the rest of their starters actually finished with 11. All 5 starters ended up in double figures. That's what you call team ball. And Florida Gulf Coast, Chase Johnston had 24 points. In fact, he was the only Eagle to end in double figures. And Queens ended up getting its first Division I postseason win in their first ever Division I postseason game, 61-55, and they're going to go up against the top-seeded Kennesaw State Owls tonight. Those 2 games will be joining the Stetson Lipscomb and Eastern Kentucky and North Alabama games tonight. All 4 games will tip off at 7 o'clock, which is in about 2.5 hours at the time of this recording. And now let's get to our bracket. We've got the Big Sky Tournament. Now, this is another tournament that does the 7v8 and 9-10 format. And it's rather interesting, but hey, what are you going to do? Next up, so first up, we got the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks going up against the Idaho Vandals. Now, Northern Arizona looking to go back for the first time since 2000. And Idaho hasn't been in the tournament since 1990. And that game will tip off at 5:30 Mountain Time on Saturday, March 4th. Along with it, the Portland State Vikings going up against the Northern Colorado Bears. Now, the Vikings haven't made it since 2009, and the Bears haven't made it since 2011. That game will tip off at 8 Mountain Time, or 30 minutes after the Northern Arizona-Idaho game is finished. And just like the Summit League, this is a conference that's going to be doing 2 games per night. And on Sunday, March 5th, the winner of those 2 games will go up against the top 2 seeds. Now, the winner of the Lumberjacks and Vandals will meet the top-seeded Eastern Washington Eagles. They're looking to go back into the tournament for the second time in 3 years, and that game will tip off at 5:30 Mountain Time, once again. And the winner of the Vikings and Bears will go up against the defending Big Sky champions, Montana State Bobcats. They're looking to repeat. The game will tip off at 8 Mountain Time. And on Sunday, you got the rest of your quarterfinal games. You got the Montana Grizzlies looking to get back in for the first time since 2019. They're going to go up against the Idaho State Bengals, who have never made it to the tournament. Actually, no, they made it to the tournament for the first time since 1987. Pardon my English. And once again, that game tips off at 5:30 Mountain Time. And then you got the Weber State Wildcats going up against the Sacramento State Hornets. Now, Weber State looking to go in for the first time since 2016. And Sacramento State is the only team in the Big Sky that has never made it to the NCAA Division I tournament. The last time they made it to a Division II tournament was 1988. The game will tip off at 8 Mountain Time. And on Tuesday, March 7th, you got the semifinals. And the tip-offs are 6:30 Mountain Time and 9 o'clock Mountain Time. And Wednesday is going to be the championship game at 9:30 Mountain Time. So 11:30 Eastern Time. So, yeah, that's going to be a late night for me. But, hey, what are you going to do? Freaking time zones. So that's going to do it for day 4 of this NCAA March Madness charity drive. I want to pull up one more thing, because Projection Sports on Twitter does have the schedule for all of the conference games tonight. And we do have 4 conferences that are having their tournament games, including the Sun Belt tonight. You got the Arkansas State Red Wolves going up against Coastal Carolina, and then you got Georgia State going up against Texas State. And then you got the Patriot League with Bucknell and American, and then Holy Cross, Loyola, Maryland. And then you got the Horizon League with IUPUI going up against Robert Morris, Green Bay going up against Wright State, and Purdue Fort Wayne going up against Detroit Mercy. And then, as I mentioned before, the Atlantic Sun quarterfinals. So that's going to be a big night for the conference tournaments. And there's going to be one more bracket to be revealed, and that's the American East. And that bracket's going to be released tonight, and I'm going to have a special guest coming on for that one, so you don't want to miss that. So without further ado, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And this charity draft is going to go on till April 3rd, I think it is. Yeah, April 3rd at the end of the national championship game. So, once again, my name is Red Rubber Duckman. Until we meet again, see you guys later.